Last week, we talked about demographics being destiny and the bullish case for the housing market, meaning prices likely to go higher because of the incredible amount of housing demand that was going to come from both the millennial and Gen Z generations, which is a huge cohort in terms of population that are becoming the age of a first-time home buyer. And as they mature in their age, the percentage of owners goes up, the percentage of renters go down, and that pent-up demand from those two generations over the next decade is going to lead to 21.4 million new buyers entering the housing market. So that's the demand side of the spectrum. And we'll link to that article and video in this YouTube video as well. But today we want to talk about the supply side of the equation. We know that there's about 21.4 million new home buyers that'll be entering the market from those cohorts, but how many houses are likely to be built to meet that demand? Well, we can get some clues from the data that we already have regarding what's going to happen in the next 10 years. So let's look back first. If I go back to 2013, what you will see here is that there were 14 million new homes built between 2013 and 2023. And there's three different lines here. You've got permits to start to build the home, the actual start of the construction of the home, and completions. But we'll just pay attention to the completion line here, and that will show you over that time horizon, if you take each year, the number of home completions, you add those up, you come up with 14 million. So that's the supply of housing being brought to the market. Well, let's look back a little further in time, because certainly 14 million homes over a decade isn't going to appease the 21.4 million buyers that were coming on board in the decade ahead. Let's look back all the way to the 1960s. And if we look at these, this is your single family housing completions. And if you look at these numbers here from 1.2 million back in the 60s. It got as high as 2.2 million. And you can see that it ebbs and flows based on the economy. These gray bars, by the way, are economic recessions. You can see in recessions, housing starts or housing completions go down because there's a little less perhaps demand during those periods of time, and the builders are a little more conservative. But if we drew a trend line from 1960 all the way to where we are today, you'll see that we've averaged right about 1.6 million starts. 1.6 million starts times 10 years. So that would indicate that we might have 16 million new homes coming to market, but we have 21.4 million buyers. So again, this speaks to the ongoing shortage of housing because the demographics in America, in terms of people turning the age of a first-time home buyer, are growing faster than the number of new homes that are being constructed. And let's take a look at just the most recent data as it relates to housing starts. Housing starts is when a builder actually breaks ground. And you can see that housing the housing starts peaked in 2022, right here. And that was about 1.8 million housing starts. That's when they start the construction. And you'll notice since 22 going forward to 24 that those housing starts are down to almost 1.2 million. So ask yourself this question. If we have 2.1 million new home buyers entering the market and we only have 1.2 million housing starts, what happens to housing prices when there's that kind of a shortage? And that's what we're seeing today in terms of existing inventory. If you look at existing inventory here, you'll see that we have 75% fewer homes on the market today than we did when the market crashed in the Great Recession. Back here in 2007, you'll see there was 4 million homes listed for sale. Today, there's only about 1.3 million, which means you have roughly 75% less homes on the market today. And with the coming of age of the millennials and Gen Z and the downward trend in housing starts, all of these spell higher prices ahead for real estate. I hope you found this extraordinarily valuable. Please subscribe to our channel to learn more.